Welcome to another digital painting tutorial. Today I'll be going over how to make this holiday piece using the Symmetry drawing guide on Procreate. With that being said, let's jump in. First, let's head on over to our Actions button, Canvas, Canvas Information, and here is where you can title your work and sign your name. Under Dimensions, we are working on a canvas size of 5000 by 5000 pixels at 300 dpi, and the color profile is the default, which is the second option from the top of the available color profiles. If you would like to get the color palette as well as this sketch, head on over to Patreon now, where you can download them with a free membership. Opening up the layers, I am going to select and rename the actual sketch layer so that way I can easily keep track of it. I'm going to select the N there for the blending mode and turn the opacity down quite a bit. I do this so that I can still see the sketch but that it won't interfere with my ability to draw underneath it. Taking the sketch, I am moving it above my newly added layer, which is now layer 2. I forgot to show the color that I used that I'm about to drop onto layer 2. It's the first color of the first row on the color palette. Opening up our layers, I'm going to add a new layer above layer 2, which is now layer 3. I'm going to select the darkest green on the second row. Next, we're going to head over to the Actions button again. We're going to Canvas, Drawing Guide, turn that on. Select Edit Drawing Guide. Here we're going to select Symmetry. Under Options, we're going to turn on the vertical, which it's already set to, but we also want to turn on the radial symmetry. Select Done. And now we can jump in. I'm going to zoom in and we are going to be using the Inka brush. And now I will begin drawing in the elements that I have sketched. And now by zooming out, you can see how the symmetry is working. Whatever I create on this side, it is going to happen on the other side of that vertical line. But instead of happening as a mirror directly across, it's actually going to happen in the opposite side or corner of this drawing. So anything I do down here is going to show up on the top over there. If you would prefer the mirror effect for the symmetry guide, then you would deselect the rotational symmetry button that we selected in order to get these to do the opposite on either side of the vertical line. And every once in a while I zoom out to make sure that I like the way that it's looking on the canvas. Here I'm using the second darkest green on that second row to create some of these leaves. And then I alternate to grab or select the darkest green. And now I'm going to select the lightest of the greens. It's more like a blue here, but you know what I mean. You'll notice that I do make some slight variations from the original sketch. Feel free to copy it exactly or make slight changes as you go. Right now I'm going to take the darkest brown available on the color palette and just make some little branches for these berries. Selecting this very light color, it's like a very light gray. It's basically white. Now I'm going to select the dark red on the third row of the color palette. Then I'm going to select this very light pink. In order to get a better sense for how the design's coming along, I remove the sketch. And because I did that, I was able to see that I wanted a little bit more detail added, so I end up creating spines for the leaves. Alright, we're about 5 minutes in, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Back to our regular programming now. I'm going to rotate the canvas so that it's just easier for me to get my elements drawn with ease. And if you'll notice here, I do have some candy canes drawn in. Those are supposed to be randomized throughout the piece, and I ended up deciding not to do it. But if you decide to, let me know how it turns out. I'd love to see what you decide to do with it. And I'm using the same technique and colors that I used for the first bushel of leaves. Removing the sketch so I can see how it's actually coming along. I like it, so I end up adding some spines to the leaves here. I use the lighter of the two browns for this part. You can stick with the darker brown as we did with the first set that we made, but I just felt like changing it up. I'm using the near white color right here for the berries. Now we're going to select the darkest green that is available and just painting in some more leaves. Similar style to the rest that we've been making. Try using the varied colors with the various greens. I'm rotating and zooming out so I can get a look, and it looks good, so I'm going to keep going with the design. With these pine branches, remember that it starts out small at the top and gets wider as it moves down the spine. And I make a couple more of these using the various blue tones that I have been for the leaves. Getting back into colors, I'm going to choose the darkest red, our red berries. I'm going to select the pink. Okay, so here I end up going down to layer 2 and adding a layer 4, so it's beneath layer 3. I select it and make it so that it is on drawing assist, and this is so that I can still use the symmetry that I've been using. That's why we put on the drawing assist. This allows me to paint underneath the fine detail of the pine branch there, while also allowing me to use the drawing assist to keep the symmetry intact as I continue this piece. Now I can combine layer 3 and 4 together because I feel good about the overall design. And here's how our wreath looks without the sketch. Heading back into layers, we are going to select layer 2, add a new layer, select Drawing Assist, and now we are going to the middle teal mint color on that first row, and we are going to add just some additional details underneath the main wreath. This will allow for almost like a sense of shadow and just more detail to come through without having to worry about color variation or just trying to figure out placement of everything. I know the color is very light and subtle, but I do think it helps fill out the wreath as well as just create some more dynamic designing. Selecting layer 2, we are going to add a new layer on top. This is now layer 5, and we are also putting it on Drawing Assist. However, we're going to change our Drawing Assist, so let's edit. Going back to Symmetry, we're going to now choose Quadrant and turn off Radial Symmetry. Remaining on that same layer, using the Inka brush and still utilizing that same color we used a moment ago, we are going to start designing our corners. I like this because it ends up sort of framing in the artwork. However, if you don't want that framing, you can skip this step, or you can come up with a totally different design for your corners or even the background. It's your piece, so it's up to you. I did, however, want to demonstrate all the various ways that you can use the Symmetry tool in the same project. Now, I still have some things I need to draw on this layer, so I'm going back to the layer 5, and I'm deselecting the drawing assist. Now that I have the symmetry off, I'm able to draw in these ornaments, which I definitely want to have asymmetrical. Because this shape is a little off, I do go to the selection tool, the freehand selection, and I move this over just slightly. I also do the same here with this ornament. Now we are going to select layer 5 and add a plus sign. So now we are on layer 6 and we're going to do another drawing assist. We are, however, going to go in and edit the drawing guide. Let's move from quadrant to vertical and make sure that we do not have on the radial symmetry. Select done. Making sure we have the white or the lightest color on the canvas, I'm now able to start drawing my cup of cocoa, my cup of joy. I'm going to deselect the draw assist so that I can do the handle without it reflecting on the other side. There we are. Going back in, I'm going to reselect and turn the drawing assist on and select the darkest brown that we have to create the hot cocoa chocolate. And now we take off the drawing assist and we add marshmallows. I do end up selecting the lighter brown and sort of just making a ripple around some of the marshmallows just so we get the sense that they're really in there. They're hanging out. Now I want to make sure I am on the lightest color and I'm going to make my steamy swirls. Now we're going to add a layer above layer 6, which is the cup. We're going to select the darkest red in the third row, and we're going into calligraphy and selecting the brush streaks. Now we give it our best shot at calligraphy and write the word joy. Now that that's done, we can return to our brush Inka. And on a new layer, we are going to make a rectangle. We are now going to duplicate the book. We're going to move it down, choose freeform and resize. Selecting the light pink, the layer 8 that we copied, we are going to turn into an alpha lock and then select fill layer. And now the book is a different color than the top book. Now we have 2 books. Well, we always had 2, but now they're 2 different colored books. And now we're going to add a layer underneath the books. Choose the sort of muted red that is the middle color on the 3rd row. And we are going to create the tops of these books. There we go. I removed the mug for a sec so I could see better. There we are. I'll also make sure to add the top of the pink book too. Now I'm going to turn and rotate the canvas. Selecting that dark color, I am going to add a new layer, make it a clipping mask. Using that nice vibrant red, I am going to design the spine of the book. Now I select the opposite color, which was the light pink, and I try and make some sort of fancy design. By all means, come up with your own design for your book spine. It's up to you. All right, and now we have our books drawn. We have our hot cocoa that's full of joy. I combine those layers so the books are all on one layer. I do make some slight adjustments here just to make sure the, hot cocoa's resting on the right spot in those books. We did it, guys! We finished the project! If you are still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, engage, and I look forward to seeing you at the next tutorial. Okay? Okay, bye.